Alright, hello everyone, and today I am going over how I set up my goalie bag. I did do a review on the goalie bag, but it wasn't really of how I set it up, and also I was pretty brand new, so I didn't have any of the techniques down. So this is how I set it up. So what I first do is I make sure that I have all my lights. So I have all these like Hellstar lights. These are for different teams, so say you got put on green team, all right, there's a Hellstar for that. You're on red team, you're on blue team, whatever. The second part that I have is this little Velcro pouch here. I got it from eBay. I think it's made from Krydex, but I think they reproduced it of something else. I don't really remember, but it's really useful. It carries all the stuff I need for my grenade, so the grenade itself, the pin driver. If you can see that there, I use that to take the shells out, and the shells. So it carries everything in there. I like to have this separate because there's a lot of small parts that go into that, and when you have everything jumbled in here, it's a bit hard to keep track of everything. Okay, and before I start getting into the rest of it, let me explain another thing that I have. All my little patches there, it's not important. But remember in my last video how I said there was like locks right here? So when you get home, you generally want to have just one lock on here, so it just makes it easier to tie everything together. So I have that for both my gun caddy, if you can see that here, so, and my main compartment. And a little ID light just in case. Alright, now let's get into actually packing this thing. So my first order of business is to get this ammo can here. This ammo can not only contains my ammo, it contains all of my M4 mags, my BBs, so like my bag of BBs. It contains all of my battery in a fire retardant little package, a little pouch, and it has a battery scanner. So if somebody's battery is low or not working, I can plug that in, and it'll either tell me if it's cooked or if it's just dead. I have my little speed loader in case somebody has a mag that doesn't fit onto an Odin. I have an Odin loader. This is what I generally use, a little sidewinder. And in here, I also threw in a little Tamiya to Dean connector. Now, you might be wondering, why do you have that if you already know, or you should have all of your batteries set to the correct gun that you have? Well, it's because my teammates, I usually, about half the time I go, my teammates will need my help, or they will need an adapter, because one guy has Tamiya because he bought the wrong one at the shop, or he just bought the wrong one from e-bike, and now all of a sudden he can't use his gun. So just having something as small as that is a great tool to just keep your boys playing the game. And so then you might be wondering, okay, that's cool and all, but why do you have it in a little ammo can? First off, the batteries, if they happen to explode, not only are they in that fire retardant case, but if it does happen to spread further than that, it only melts everything that's in this box. And hopefully it doesn't do any more damage. And the second reason is because at the bottom of this goalie bag, if you put your ammo can in there like that, it fits really perfectly, and it helps keep the shape of the goalie bag. And also, everything that's like piling on top of it won't crush everything that's in there. If you remember my last video, I had the batteries placed on the door. I didn't really like that, but that's what I had. So, so it's to keep the battery safe, to keep the ammo safe, keep the mags from bending. It's really to protect little sensitive items that are in here. Alright, next thing that I usually do when packing up, let me go grab it, is my plate carrier. So, I really like the Faro version 5 because you can just take it apart. So here's the front part of it, and here is the back part. So if I'm bringing my PAPR unit, I will usually put my battery in there already plugged in and charged, and I will screw it down and not have it on until the game's ready to start. And the reason why I like having the version 5 is because you don't have to take up space when you kind of stack everything on top of itself and everything has to collapse in. You just take it apart and you can just throw it at the bottom. Like this, or like this. You see? And now you have a lot more room to work with. The second thing that I like to do is to put my helmet in there. And so I have my helmet right here. Generally the helmet will go towards the top because when everything compresses down, you don't want them pressing on your Peltors. You don't want them pressing, like say you have an LG4 mount or night vision mount. You don't want everything pressing on that. And so generally it's like the soft part of grocery shopping. You want all the soft stuff and all the stuff you don't want getting crushed to go towards the top. So you see there, and it also helps keep its shape. I can throw my little vest back in there. There you go. Just start freeing up some room here. There you go. All right, next would be like little stuff like my radios and all that. So let me go grab that. So I have here two UV5R Baofengs. I like to keep two of them because sometimes there'll be a guy who has PTT, his Peltors, and his radio's dead. Or there's one guy who just needs a radio and is like kind of ready to use one. So I have here my little PTT. I like to keep it connected to either my plate carrier or to my radio because not too long ago I did forget this, so I'm trying to keep a habit of, you know, keeping it steady. So I like to put it towards the sides of the goalie bag. I never like to put it towards the middle, just to kind of reduce the stress put on these radios and the antennas. So you generally want them towards kind of stowed off to the side. This is the loaner one that I have. It has a little speaker PTT, so if you don't have Peltors or you don't have any of that fancy stuff, you pretty much have your PTT and radio in one package. I even glued a little screen on here. Anyways, we're not here to talk about radio configuration. We're here to talk about bag configurations. So now that I have that set off, the second thing I'd like to do is put in, like say, my gas mask, my battle belt, or my gloves. So let me go grab those. And it's just the little stuff, you know, but it all takes up space. So I got my gloves here, and you can just toss these really anywhere. They don't take up any space at all. My sling, which is really important. I don't generally ever keep my sling in, like, on my gun in my bag. I don't know why. It's just really weird to me to do that. But I like to carry my sling inside the main compartment. And my battle belt. So here is the battle belt. And generally, I do take this off. My little pistol that I have on my drop leg there. I take that off and I kind of sandwich my battle belt like that. And I throw it in there and I try to make it as nice as it can possibly fit. It is an awkward thing to put in there, but it does need to go on top of everything because of how weird it is. And my pistol goes off to the side. I generally don't like to put the pistol attached to the Safari LAN because it kind of takes up a lot of room. And it makes storing other things really awkward. And another thing that's also really awkward to store is a gas mask. Now sometimes I don't store it, sometimes I do. I did try to store it on the side where you can see the little buckle right here. That's the buckle that goes onto my gas mask bag. But I found it to be really awkward when loading it into cars because that little bag would just get kind of stuck on doorways and you couldn't really put it into like the passenger seat of your car or into your back seat. And if you did get in the back seat and pulling it back out, it would get caught again. So that was a little experimenting I did and found it did not work. So the good thing, gas mask can be a little bit flexible. So you can just kind of toss it in here. Don't have to worry too much. And one optional thing I like to bring is a battery charger, because sometimes I'll have the strange feeling that somebody will need it, and sometimes I'm right. So let me go grab that. I grabbed a couple other things too while I was over there. So, battery charger, it surprisingly doesn't take up too much space. You can kind of shove it off to the side here. You detach make sure you detach all your wires, because if it's like hanging off the side there and those wires get squished on the side, you pretty much broke something, and this won't be able to be used. So this is TB6A or TB6AC plus 80W. If you want to look into that one's my favorite, because it is not a lipo green light charger where you have to wait forever and you don't know how long you have. I also like to carry a little box of CR123 batteries, and that will actually come in handy even right now. So I'm going to have that kind of towards the top there. And also, this is something optional. So let me show you to the camera. This is a little hard case that usually those like Hellstars would come in. These are really good for storing things that are really small that you know you're going to lose. And these are Gate Blue Links. So if I'm going to pack a gun that has like an Aster or a Gate Titan in it, you generally want to have one of these, because those ETUs are kind of shitty. And if a little bit too much light gets in there or something happens and the gun just stops working, you pop one of these on there, you connect to it, and all of a sudden your gun starts working again. But I don't have a gun right now that has any sort of gate technology in it. But I just wanted to show you that usually I'll put these in there if I'm packing one. If not, just kind of cast it towards the side, and I don't really use it. So now that we got everything in the main compartment out of the way, we can now talk about the size. So, you notice that I have these two bags right here. One bag contains a set of revision crossbows, little eye pro that fit really comfortably and snug under some Peltors. That's usually what I wear if I'm not wearing my gas mask. And I also have another set of glasses, and these are my free-range Pit Vipers. They are Z87 rated. Make sure that when you're buying Pit Vipers that they are Z87 rated and not just cool ones like the money counters, because you don't want to find out that they don't work when they need to work. I do put them in this little bag here because I don't want somebody seeing my little Pit Viper logo and all of a sudden, now my $60 sunglasses are gone. Let's see. And the next part, hope I don't bump this down, would be my guns. So you might be thinking, I was playing simple, just throw it in there. Yeah, that's half of it. There's also another half. So I like to have a little like a laser, a little Somo gear laser, and my Surefire light. Now check this out. You see how it's kind of flickering and really dead? That's because I left this in here. I must have been really tired. I left this in here, and it was pressing down the pad and killed my battery. So when you are packing things that have pressure switches and stuff like that, generally what you want to do is unplug them before you put them in there. You can keep the can on there, but also if you take off the side mounts, luckily I have the Surefire Vampire that has like the little quick detach. If you want to keep everything kind of clean, because generally you want to put two guns in here. I don't have a second gun right now. That's kind of under repair at the moment, but collapse your stock as much as you can get collapsed. Put it in there, and you don't have to take your can off, because you see that it clears the whole thing. So put it in there. Make sure that your EOTech, your fake EOTech that doesn't turn off, is not on. And there you go. I now have my goalie bag set up, and now I can lock it up if I want to keep it locked up, or I could just keep it not locked. But other than that, it's a pretty simple video. Just generally what I have, just what I have stored there. So somebody's coughing outside. Anyway, I'll see you guys later.